There are days in life that pass quietly, blending into the flow of time like drops into an endless ocean. Then, there are days when the air feels different, when your spirit senses something before your mind can explain it. August 17th is one of those days. Not just a date on the calendar, but a threshold, a moment that carries weight, energy, and meaning far beyond what the eyes can see. It is a day when the currents beneath the surface of life shift. You may not notice it in the noise of the morning or the routine of your steps, but deep within something will awaken. Life moves in cycles. The seasons turn, a moon pulls the tides, and energy flows in patterns that the ancients understood well. Sometimes these patterns bring stillness, other times they bring storms, but every so often they bring a powerful opening, a portal for transformation. August 17th is such a portal. It is not a promise that everything will change in one instant, but rather a call to be aware, to be ready, to step into alignment with the movement of the unseen forces around you. For those who sleepwalk through life, this day may come and go without meaning. But for those who are awake, who have trained themselves to feel beyond what is visible, August 17th will be like a gong striking in the stillness, echoing through the chambers of your heart. The shift that comes may not be loud. It may be subtle, like the turning of a key in a lock, but from that moment forward, the door will never be the same. You must understand, shifts do not wait for permission. They come whether you are ready or not, but readiness changes everything. If you are unprepared, you may be swept away by the wave, confused and unsteady. If you are ready, you can ride it, using its power to move further in one day than you could in years of ordinary effort. This is why awareness matters. This is why presence is everything. In the days leading up to August 17th, you may already feel it, a subtle pressure, a strange sense of anticipation, as though the air is thicker, as though the world is holding its breath. Do not dismiss this feeling. Pay attention to the patterns around you, the thoughts that arise uninvited, the people who suddenly cross your path. The universe speaks in signs, but it speaks quietly to those who are too busy to listen. August 17th is not simply an event. It is a mirror. It will reflect back to you the truth of your own state, your discipline, your clarity, your courage. If you approach it with distraction, it will expose your weakness. If you approach it with awareness, it will reveal your strength. The question is not whether the shift will come. It will. The question is whether you will meet it as a bystander or as a participant in your own unfolding. There are moments in life when a date is not just a number on the calendar but a symbol, a doorway, a mark in time when something greater than the routine is at play. August 17th is such a moment. It holds within it the kind of energy that shifts the air, stirs the stillness, and creates a subtle current in the unseen layers of existence. To call it a threshold is not poetic exaggeration. It is an energetic crossing, a point where the movement of life changes direction, and the familiar patterns no longer flow as they did before. Such thresholds are rare, and they are often invisible to those who have not learned to feel beyond the surface. Energy moves in cycles, like the turning of seasons or the breathing of the ocean's tides. In the same way nature has its moments of budding, blooming, and harvest, human life moves through unseen energetic seasons. Sometimes these seasons pass unnoticed, but sometimes the shift is strong enough to create a vibration you can sense in your bones. August 17th carries such a vibration. It is a day charged with transition, when invisible doors open and the winds of change stir. It is a crossing from one energetic landscape to another, and such crossings hold both challenge and opportunity. When a threshold arrives, it is not always grand or dramatic. It might come like the quiet movement of clouds, subtle and slow, yet shifting the entire light of the day, or it might arrive like a sudden storm, rearranging everything in its path. The energy of August 17th carries both possibilities. It can be gentle or fierce, depending on what it meets within you. What makes this day significant is not only the change itself, but the fact that it is aligned with a greater rhythm of life. When a moment in time aligns with a universal shift, its power multiplies. There is something about thresholds that calls for presence. Just as a traveler pauses before stepping into a new land, there is value in pausing before crossing an energetic line. On August 17th, that pause can be felt, not with the eyes or ears, but with the deeper sense that resides in the quiet space of the mind. To stand in such a moment is to stand between what was and what will be. It is to feel the weight of what you carry and the possibilities of what you might yet embrace. This is why such days are rare gifts. They are moments when the ordinary fabric of time thins, and the currents beneath the surface of life become more accessible. In these moments, awareness is not just helpful, it is essential. A threshold is only fully crossed when it is recognized, when the traveler steps through it with intention, and August 17th is such a threshold in the flow of your life. Awareness is the silent force that shapes the way you experience any moment of change. A shift in life, no matter how powerful, can either elevate you or break you depending on the state of your attention when it arrives. August 17th may hold the energy to realign the path you walk, but without awareness, that energy can feel chaotic, heavy, and even destructive. With awareness, however, the same energy becomes a current you can harness, a wave you can ride toward growth and transformation. The difference is not in the event itself, but in your readiness to meet it with clarity of mind and steadiness of heart. Awareness is more than simply noticing what happens around you. It is the ability to stand in the center of experience without being swept away by it. When the world shifts, it is easy to be pulled into the noise, the opinions of others, the rush of fear, the temptation to react impulsively. But awareness allows you to step back, to observe, to understand that you are not the storm, but the one who chooses how to move through it. This quality changes everything. It turns uncertainty into opportunity and disruption into alignment. When a day like August 17th arrives, the energy it brings can be like a sudden river appearing in your path. Without awareness, you may step into it blindly, unsure of its depth, and be carried away without direction. With awareness, you see the river clearly, you feel its strength, and you choose how to cross or flow with it. The event does not change, the flow is the same, but your relationship to it transforms. You are no longer at the mercy of the shift, but instead, you work with it, allowing it to carry you toward your intended destination. Awareness sharpens your perception of subtle signs. It allows you to notice the small changes that others overlook, the shift in the tone of conversations, the sudden appearance of opportunities, the quiet warning of obstacles approaching. These signs are like whispers from the deeper layers of life, guiding you through the change. Without awareness, they pass unnoticed, and you walk forward unprepared. With awareness, they become a map, showing you where to step and where to hold back. The truth is that the same wave that lifts one person higher can drown another, and the deciding factor is not strength alone but presence. You may have skill, resources, and even experience, but if your mind is clouded, the power of the shift can overwhelm you. Awareness keeps your vision clear, your breath steady, and your actions deliberate. It transforms the unknown from something to fear into something to meet with curiosity and readiness. On a day like August 17th, this difference determines whether the shift leaves you scattered or moves you closer to the life you are meant to live. Long before a significant moment arrives, the world begins to prepare you for it. Change rarely appears without warning. It sends signals ahead of time, subtle markers in your daily life that speak of what is coming. The signs of August 17th's shift may already be present, woven into the ordinary days leading up to it. They might come as a sudden change in mood without explanation, a pattern of coincidences that seem too aligned to ignore, or a feeling that something is quietly rearranging itself in the background of your life. These signs are not accidents. They are the echoes of what is approaching, giving you the chance to adjust before the moment arrives. To notice these early signs, you must step into a state of listening that goes beyond your five senses. The noise of routine, the demands of others, and the endless flow of distractions can drown out the whispers of change. If you move too quickly, you pass by the signs without seeing them, and by the time the shift arrives, you are caught unprepared. But when you slow down and observe, you start to see the threads being woven. A person you haven't spoken to in years might suddenly reach out. A challenge that forces you to adapt may appear without reason. An idea might repeat itself in your mind until you are compelled to act. All of these are part of the quiet language of the shift. The body often knows before the mind does. You may feel restless without cause or unusually calm in situations that once unsettled you. Your dreams might change, carrying strange clarity or repeating symbols that seem to follow you when you wake. The energy around you may feel heavier or lighter, as though the space you occupy is subtly changing its shape. These are not random fluctuations. They are the signals of alignment, preparing you for the energy that August 17th will bring. It is important to trust what you notice, even if it makes no logical sense in the moment. The The signs may not reveal the full picture, but they are pieces of it, and when the day arrives, those pieces will connect. Many people dismiss these signals because they are waiting for something grand and obvious, but the truth is that the most powerful changes are often preceded by the smallest signs. The river begins with a single drop, and a great fire starts with a spark. When you learn to recognize these patterns, you begin to prepare not only for August 17th, but for every shift in life. You carry awareness into each step, knowing that the future is not a sudden arrival, but a slow and deliberate unfolding. The more you notice, the more you can align yourself with the moment when it comes, standing ready as the wave of change rises and moves through your life. A day like August 17th does more than bring change. It reveals who you are in the midst of it. The energy it carries acts like a mirror, showing you a reflection that is not shaped by how you wish to be seen, but by what truly exists within you. In the quiet space between the old and the new, you will see your own discipline, your focus, your fears, and your courage without the usual layers of distraction. This reflection is not always comfortable because it does not flatter or hide. It simply shows the truth, and in doing so, it offers a rare opportunity to understand yourself more deeply. When the mirror of such a day is placed before you, you may notice strengths that you did not know you possessed. You might see patience where you once thought only impatience lived. You might find resilience in moments that once would have broken you. But you may also see areas where you have avoided growth, places where you have allowed habits or fears to remain untouched. This is not meant to punish but to illuminate. The clarity that comes in these moments is a gift, because once something is seen, it can no longer be ignored. Many people move through life without truly meeting themselves. They live by routines defined by expectations and shaped by the opinions of others. Days of reflection like August 17th interrupt that flow, creating a pause where you can no longer run from the reality of your inner state. The conversations you have, the choices you make, and the emotions you feel on such a day are magnified. They reveal the patterns you carry, the beliefs you hold, and the energy you bring into the world. In this way, the shift is not only external, it is deeply internal. The world around you may be changing, but it is the way you respond to that change that determines its true impact. A mirror does not create what it shows, it simply reflects what is already there. If you meet the day with clarity and intention, the reflection will show alignment. If you meet it with distraction and resistance, the reflection will reveal that as well. Such mirrors can be confronting, but they are also liberating. They allow you to see without distortion, to acknowledge the parts of yourself that are ready to grow, and the parts that require attention. This awareness becomes the foundation for transformation, because you cannot shape what you have not yet recognized. When the mirror of August 17th is placed before you, it is not asking you to be perfect, it is asking you to be honest. In that honesty lies the power to move forward with greater alignment and purpose. No matter what the shift brings into your life, readiness is the quiet strength that determines how you meet the turning points in life. A wave of change does not stop to wait until you feel prepared, it comes when it comes. The difference between being lifted by that wave or pulled under it is found in the work you have done before it arrives. On a day like August 17th, when the energy moves with force and direction, readiness becomes the deciding factor in whether the shift feels like a burden or a breakthrough. Readiness is not about predicting every detail of what will happen. It is about cultivating the inner stability to respond to whatever comes. This stability is built in the small moments of discipline, choosing focus over distraction, patience over reaction, awareness over assumption. These choices, repeated day after day, strengthen your mind and steady your emotions so that when a powerful shift arrives, you meet it with clarity instead of chaos. When you are ready, change does not feel like something that happens to you. It becomes something you participate in. You recognize the current as it begins to form, you adjust your stance, and you align yourself with its flow. The energy that could have knocked you off balance becomes the same energy that carries you forward. You are no longer resisting the inevitable, you are working with it, using its strength to move toward your goals with greater speed and precision. Readiness also means being able to let go of what no longer serves you. A shift in life is often accompanied by the release of old patterns, relationships, or ways of thinking. Without readiness, this release feels like loss, and you cling to what is familiar even as it holds you back. With readiness, You understand that letting go creates space for the new, and you step into that space without fear. This ability to release is as important as the ability to receive. There is a calmness in those who are ready, even when the world around them is unsettled. It is not the calmness of someone who is untouched by change, but the calmness of someone who trusts their own footing, no matter how the ground moves. This kind of steadiness cannot be built in the moment of the shift. It is the result of preparation, of being present in the days before, of paying attention to the signs, and of keeping your focus sharp. When August 17th arrives, the wave will move whether you stand ready or not. The readiness you have cultivated will determine how you move with it, whether you rise and advance or stumble and lose your way. In this sense, readiness is not a choice you make on the day of the shift. It is the way you have been living long before that day comes, the way you have trained yourself to see, to adapt, and to step forward when the moment calls.